So welcome to another episode. This week I'm going to go over something that I get asked a ton, and you'll notice in a lot of my spearfishing clips, especially when I'm shooting Wahoo, there's a throw flasher that's sinking down, and I'm shooting the Wahoo as they come to check it out. And people are always asking me, what is that? And it's something that's very cheap and easy to make, and I can't tell you how many times it's made the difference between me getting a shot on a fish or not. And we call it the crack pipe or the hand grenade, but whatever you call it, it's very, very effective. So these are the basic ingredients for it. You just need roughly an inch or inch and a half diameter piece of PVC. In this case, I'll make it out of some old conduit that I found laying around in a stack of lumber. Recycle that. You're going to need some reflective tape that has adhesive on the other end of it, PVC cutter, a drill, and just a knife or a razor to cut a couple of things, and just a little piece of string to make a lanyard for it. And so I'll just go through it. So basically I get this reflective tape from any fishing store. You can order it online too. And I just kind of measure the width of it and give myself a little bit of room at the top of it to make my hole later. So I'm just gonna roughly cut it right around here. So I'm gonna take my PVC cutter. And again, it doesn't have to be exact measurements. This thing's gonna work the same no matter what. And why I'm using PVC or conduit is that out of all the things I've tried, it falls at a really good rate. So what happens is when you throw this and it hits the water, it kind of cuts through the first 3 feet of the surface pretty quickly until it starts falling like falling leaf motion. So that achieves a couple of different things. It gets it down enough in the water column for fish to pay attention to it quickly, so it's not taking so long that they've lost interest before it gets down enough. So it'll catch their interest pretty fast, and then it has an action to it, and you got that shine from the reflective tape, but at the same time it's not sinking super fast. So that was a problem. Originally we used to always use just cheap spoons that you buy from Walmart or something that you're not attached to, right? So you throw that and the fish get very attractive, but it sinks so fast that it oftentimes pulls the fish down away from you, and you find yourself chasing the fish down. So this gives a little bit more time to kind of call your shots and figure out where you want this fish to come into. So I've cut this, and all I'm gonna do is see what kind of length I need. Actually, I cut this one a little short, but it doesn't matter. See what kind of length I need. I'm going to cut that there. I swear these pipes would actually still work without reflective tape, but the reflective tape definitely doesn't hurt at all. That shine's going to bring things in from a distance. Get that down on there pretty well. Then I'm just going to drill a hole for my lanyard right around here, if I can get it on there. Okay, so I got my puka there. Let's get a little piece of string here. So I like using something that's a little bit rigid as far as the string goes on the end here. And that's because it doesn't twist and tangle as much on stuff on your dive belt where you'll be keeping it. And it's also kind of thick enough to where I can feel it with a glove on when I'm reaching for it with a dive glove. So I just put a little stopper knot on there, feed it through the inside, and put another stopper knot. There you have it. And as far as it attaching to your weight belt, a lot of people use just a small tuna clip that they keep on their weight belt, and you can just put it right there. So it's pretty fast and easy. When you want to get it off, you just go like this and it's off. The setup that I liked even better is I had these, what they're called quick weights, and they attach onto your weight belt with a bungee. So I could just slip this knot here up under that bungee and it would stay enough, and I could one-handed grab this thing and throw it when I needed it. But I don't have those weights anymore because Papeete TSA took all of mine. I'm still mad about it. But a really good tip for this, what I see a lot of guys who are just starting to use throw flashers do wrong is if a fish is coming, say this fish is coming from my right here, what they'll do is they'll see the fish, like a wahoo, close to the surface, swimming this way, and throw it at the fish. You don't want to throw it at the fish in between you and the fish, because what happens is this movement and this flashing is going to attract them, but at a certain point they're going to realize this is not food. And they'll come and check it out and they'll be curious. Sometimes they'll even bite it. But then at that point, they'll kind of lose interest and move off. So that just means if you throw it at the fish, you've automatically set kind of a bubble around you where that fish isn't going to continue swimming towards you from this. The whole idea is to have the fish locked in on this and not watching you as much. So say that fish is coming from this side, I'm going to sit here and throw it in this direction. And that is going to force that fish to swim across my path to check this out. And that's when I'm going to try to drop as smoothly as possible to take a shot on it. But these work for wahoo really good. They've worked for dogtooth tuna really well. I've seen them attack the heck out of these things. I've seen uluas or giant trevally attack these, uku. The sharks like to chew on these things too, so they're kind of magic. And at the end of the day, you've probably only spent like, honestly, like a $1.50 on this flasher. I definitely do not promote people just throwing these things around and not retrieving them and leaving a bunch of trash at the bottom of the ocean. And that's the beauty of this. So even if I take a shot on a fish, it's usually not so deep that I can't retrieve it. So I'll take the shot, you know, fish starts running, whether I'm on a reel or on a float, and I'll continue to swim down and pick my flasher back up. But sometimes it just doesn't work out that way. Say you got sharks on you at a certain spot, or something happens and you lose it. It's a bummer that it's at the bottom of the ocean, but it also was only $1.50. And when you're making that decision as well, when it's down deep and you're like, okay, I can go down and try to get this, but I might put myself in danger of a blackout, pushing myself that far. You know, it's that extra added mental aspect of like, this didn't cost $20. I'm not going to make a bad decision over a few bucks. So I really like these. Try and make them for yourself. That's what this video is for. And let me know how it goes. I've actually seen these work really well for like yellowtail and colder water environments too. So any predatory fish is probably going to have some kind of a interest in this thing. Love to hear what you guys think in the comments. Thanks for showing up, and if you like what's going on this channel, make sure you hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you every week. Aloha.